Welcome to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. Here are the stories that we're following today, July 17, 2013. In the news from the Caribbean, convention will decide leadership future, says former Grenada Prime Minister. U.S. doctors say high-profile Haitian judge is killed by a stroke. In Trinidad and Tobago, snail's pace. Lawyers are stumped. The DCP Richardson says email gate probe will take a long time. And Vibes cartel trial, prosecution applies to admit statement of absent witness into evidence. Details on these headlines and more when we return.
5 million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. The segment of the news is sponsored by Total Caribbean Network. In Grenada, former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas is keeping Grenadians guessing about his political future, including whether he'll contest another general election. Thomas lost his seat, and his National Democratic Congress, which formed the government in July 2008, was routed from office in a 15-0 general election defeat in February by the new National Party led by Dr. Keith Mitchell. Reports were circulating there last week that Thomas had stepped down as NDC leader or was planning to do so. He now has denied those reports. He said he told an interviewer that he will not be contesting another general election, and people take it to mean that he will not be contesting the party leadership. He says, and I quote, "I think people have misunderstood." Shortly after the results of the February 19 polls, Thomas said he was prepared to step down as NDC head and work with any chosen new leader of the party. And I quote, "The leadership is not something that I want to hold on to," he said in an interview with the Trinidad Guardian. "Once somebody comes forward, I'm prepared to let that person take over the responsibility of leadership of the party." According to Thomas, he now awaits the NDC's annual convention when election to the party's executive will be held. One Grenada newspaper, Carib Update Weekly, said the convention is tentatively scheduled for September. Thomas, 68, said he has no immediate plans to contest another general election. However, he has not altogether ruled out that the possibility of running at the next national elections that are constitutionally due by 2018. In Haiti, U.S. medical doctors at a trauma hospital in the Haitian capital said on Sunday that a judge handling a high-profile case died on Saturday evening after being diagnosed with a stroke, contradicting rumors suggesting the magistrate had been poisoned or assassinated. Jean-Serge Joseph, a judge handling a case of alleged unlawful activity charges brought against members of the presidential family, died on Saturday after being received at the Bernard Mebs Hospital and examined by an American physician volunteering with the trauma center. And I quote, "When the patient arrived, he was in a very serious condition. We did an x-ray, we did a CT scan for him, we gave him oxygen, and we did everything we could to try to save his life," Dr. Vincent De Janeiro told reporters during a news conference at the hospital on Sunday. "But he had a big stroke and he died," said De Janeiro from Fort Lauderdale, who was speaking in Creole on behalf of his colleagues. The judge, who was personally seen by Dr. Richard Thorpe from Minnesota, arrived at the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and died at 8 p.m. the same day, according to medical sources. The deceased magistrate was in charge of a case that involved the country's First Lady, Sophia Martelly, and one of the president's sons, Olivia Martelly, accused of misappropriation of funds and usurpation of title by two lawyers linked to opposition parties. The presidential family has repeatedly denied the accusations, arguing that the First Lady and her son could not be involved in any embezzlement of public funds because they are not managing such funds. Public funds are handled by ministers and other functionaries who are personally accountable to Parliament and relevant administrative jurisdictions. People in the entourage of President Michael Martelly said the accusations are unfounded and claim they are orchestrated by political opponents who wish to undermine the Haitian leader's efforts to fulfill his campaign promises. Joseph issued a recent ruling calling on President Martelly, who has the legal authority to allow high-level functionaries to appear before court judges, to authorize Prime Minister Laurent Lamothe and several other government ministers to testify in the case. The Port-au-Prince prosecutor, Lukman Delisle, appealed the judge's ruling for alleged violations of judicial proceedings. The appeal court has yet to decide on the issue. Following the death of the judge, rumors spread around the country and on the internet suggesting the magistrate had been poisoned or assassinated as a consequence of his handling of the high-profile case. There were also allegations that President Martelly and Lamothe had meetings with the judge to pressure him to give up the case, which a source close to the Prime Minister's office speaking to HCNN on condition of anonymity has categorically denied. Meanwhile, Haiti's Justice Minister denied on Monday that the country's highest political authorities attended a meeting with a high-profile judge, during which the now-deceased magistrate would have come under intense political pressure to give up the case involving the presidential family. Jean-Renel Sanon rejected allegations that President Martelly, Prime Minister Lamothe and himself, among other personalities, had participated on Thursday in a meeting with the judge. A lawyer close to the deceased judge, Samuel Madiston, said the late magistrate had told him about death threats and pressure he received during a meeting on Thursday with Martelly, Lamothe, and Sanon. Lawyer Gary Lesade, designated as the alleged host of the supposed meeting, issued a communique to deny having hosted such discussions. In Trinidad and Tobago, lawyers acting on behalf of 3 government officials in the Emailgate probe said they are getting no cooperation, no instructions, and no requests from the police as they seek to push the investigation forward. This from attorney for Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Israel Khan, who yesterday told the reporters the lawyers are stumped in moving their client's case forward. Legal and technical protocols demanded by government legal advisors have not yet been put in place to facilitate the handover of private electronic equipment belonging to Persad-Bissessar, Attorney General Anand Ramlogan, and Minister of Local Government and Works Suraj Rambajan. Khan, Persad-Bissessar's lawyer, has collaborated with attorneys Pamela Elder and Larry Lala, legal representatives for Ramlogan and Rambachan, and issued a letter to lead investigator, Deputy Commissioner of Police Mervyn Richardson, to work out a set of acceptable protocols. In the letter dated July 5th, Khan stipulated that the protocols must allow their joint clients to be provided with clones of the said devices immediately upon handover. This means that the 3 under investigation are asking that copies of the cloning of all the information be provided to them so that nothing could be added that was not there before. Another of the protocols calls for the devices be examined by a foreign certified forensic computer examiner agreed to by our clients and the police. The computer analysis search of the said devices should be limited to answering the specific question: were any of the said devices used to send or receive the purported emails revealed in the Parliament by the Honorable Leader of the Opposition on Friday, May 17th, and the said devices be immediately returned to our clients if the above question is answered in the negative. End of quote. Lala confirmed a response was received from Richardson yesterday, but would not reveal what was in the letter. Lala said the lawyers were in the process of responding to Richardson. On June 25th, Khan accompanied Persad-Bissessar to police headquarters in Port-au-Spain with her electronic equipment. Despite an almost 3-hour meeting then, no device was handed over because of the lack of proper protocol to receive and preserve the integrity of the systems. Lala also cited the same lack of protocols as the reason he did not hand over his client's systems on that same day. Since then, there have been several calls by Khan for the investigation to accelerate and other statements by Richardson that he needed more cooperation to do so. Khan, in a telephone interview yesterday, said he believed the investigation was being dragged on deliberately. When asked if he was insinuating collusion between opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley and the police investigators, Khan said he did not believe the police was slowing down the investigation. The DPP has in fact recused himself from the investigation, and Deputy DPP Jean-Honoré Paul is in charge of it. Khan, who had initially called for the investigation to close before the July 29 Chaguanas West by-election yesterday, said he was not confident that would happen. In their joint letter, the attorneys reminded the police that their clients maintained, as they always have, the only sure way to answer the question as to whether the devices were used to send or receive the alleged emails is to have an authorized search conducted by the servers from whose systems the emails purportedly originated. DCP Richardson, meanwhile, stated that the investigation was progressing, albeit not at pace he would like. While he refused to say how many people have been interviewed, he would only say plenty persons, most persons interviewed. The prosecution in the murder trial of entertainer Vybz Kartel has applied for the statement of a key witness to be entered into evidence. The application was made under Section 31D of the Evidence Act when the hearing resumed in the Home Circuit Court yesterday. Section 31D of the Evidence Act addresses the admission of witness statements in situations where a witness cannot be located or is not available. The members of the jury were asked to leave the courtroom while the application was being made. It is expected that presiding judge Brian Sykes will be making a ruling on the application this afternoon. A policeman testified that he attended a post-mortem for the deceased. He said the doctor removed 2 bullet fragments from the body and handed them to a policewoman. Kartel, whose given name is Adijah Palmer, Lenberg McDonald, and Nigel Thompson, were jointly charged with the July 2011 shooting death of the St. Catherine businessman Barrington Bossy Burton. The police said Bossy was attacked while he was standing with friends along Walker's Avenue in Gregory Park. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate News. We will be right back.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with 0 out of pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with 0 out of pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.